Hey there, welcome back to Blacklist Universe. This is Mike redesigning Lara Croft today, sort of taking her back to her roots where, back in my day, Lara Croft was a buxom adventurer in the mold of James Bond meets Indiana Jones. She was indeed all that and a bag of chips, and it seems like we've gotten away from that in recent years, most obviously in the modern Netflix put a chick in it, make her lame and gay. And that's what they did. They took away the sex appeal. They took away the very nature of the character. Not saying that having big boobs is the nature of the character, but sex appeal is definitely, if you were a Tomb Raider fan back in the day, then you know very well what wonderful big guns she had. And it might have been Uzis in the beginning, but then it was Desert Eagles. Honestly, I'm not really sure what they gave her in the modern incarnation, but the guns I do know they removed from her were the ones, let's just put it this way. I like boobs. I'm a Christian man, and I believe that God created women because he's a man, and I don't even know how to say this. I don't want to sound blasphemous, but women are beautiful, and they're meant to be beautiful, and one of the things God gave women are huge tracts of land, and there's something wonderful and magical about the female form. And I know we're in some weird post-modern, post-Christian, post-everything kind of world we live in today, where they're just trying to take away the fact that that men are men and women are women, and there's a dividing line there that can't really be crossed, and they're trying to feminize the men and masculinize the women and just make everybody the same, and it's just making everything ugly and boring and unappealing. I don't know what to say. Look, it's funny because back when Tomb Raider came out, I was like, oh, they're just trying to sell this chick on sex appeal and blah, blah, blah. But really, it was an amazing game with great gameplay. The character was sort of, I don't want to say it's a cipher, but say she was a Barbie for older, more adventurous girls, right? She was a strong, intelligent, adventurous woman with all of the wonderful womanly attributes that you could give a character. And chicks dug her, dudes dug her. The gameplay was awesome. I wasn't as huge a fan as a lot of my friends, but just talking to them the other night, we did redesign Lara Croft on Drawn and Quartered, our weekly Wednesday night live stream with my other professional artist friends. We get together and we draw stuff. And this week we redesigned Lara Croft, and they were just going on and on about what a fantastic character she was. And again, Netflix decided to make her lame and gay. Flat, you can make her, smaller chested, whatever. I guess, if you can't really cast a lot of triple D actresses if you're, although that's the thing, they cast Hayley Atwell as the voice actress for this, and then they gave her like B cups in the cartoon, which is like, why don't you just honor the natural build that the actress who's voicing the character has? And that would be a perfect Lara Croft. Perfect. The voice, the attitude, everything would be perfect. Again, like I said before, she's like James Bond meets Indiana Jones, and all the fun and adventure that comes in between. That she's got the sex appeal from the female angle, right? And it's really funny because, in this modern day and age where people are complaining about characters because they don't have enough female representation, they don't have enough girl bosses and blah, blah, blah. So they're like constantly trying to, change male characters into female characters, replacing male characters with female characters who then become the girl boss. Here you have Lara Croft, who was always a girl boss. Nobody complained about it, right? It wasn't a political shoehorn. It was an original character. I grant it. She was based on sort of a previous male archetypes, like James Bond, like Indiana Jones. But they did a mashup of those characters, and then they created a unique character design. They gave her all the attributes you need to make a hit character, including great gameplay, great stories, right? All of this stuff. And then what? You had it. You had the complete package. And now you want to make her lame and gay. You want to make her flat-chested, lame, and gay. You even gayed up her side characters. And I'm just so sick of the SJW DEI movement. It's just destroying everything that's any fun. It's like, you know what it is? It's a fight against fun. It's like, if you're out there and you're enjoying stuff and you're having fun, they'll find a way to ruin it. And fortunately for us, we have the old games. We have the old videos. There's so much content out there prior to this DEI takeover. You know, we can still enjoy the old stuff, except, you know, sometimes they ruin the new stuff so badly that you can't even enjoy the old stuff anymore. It's like Star Wars. I know this isn't a Star Wars stream, but dang it, man. I can't even enjoy the original Star Wars anymore with the kind of crap that they've been doing to new Star Wars. Making a trans clone trooper. All right, sorry. Totally off topic. Let me veer back. So here's, I am giving her the double deagles. Like I said, she's got huge guns, and you just gotta give her the big guns. And in my modernization, you know, Lara Croft is not a difficult character to get right. And so I didn't want to have to completely redesign her head to toe. I tried to maintain a recognizability to the character. You know, she's just, but I gave her pants. Because I get it. You know, you want her to have the sex appeal, but at the same time, she's an adventurer and she's going out into the jungles or the desert or whatever it is. She's got to have a little bit of skin protection, even though, you know, I try to take the initial concept, the original concept that is of Lara, and just give it a little bit of more realistic, but still maintaining that wonderful male fantasy, female fantasy. Look, if you don't think girls were idolizing Lara Croft, you've never been to a comic book convention, because back then, back in the heyday of Tomb Raider, I was doing comic conventions. Chicks all over the place would cosplay this character. Girls love Lara Croft, big boobs and all, right? They weren't. I don't get this concept that I don't know, like feminism. You take the feminine out of feminism when you think girls shouldn't have sexy bodies. Sexy female form is feminine. It's the definition of feminine. So let me actually talk about, like, you know, the art here for a second, because I know I've kind of been soapboxing this entire episode, which isn't what a lot of you come here for, but it is how I feel. So you're just going to have to deal with it on this one, I guess. Here, I'm going back in. Let me just give some clarity on the point. Again, I thought it was important that she be a realistic character, as in, what does Lara Croft do? Why does she do it? And how can we maximize her functional outfit and maintain her femininity and her sex appeal? Because that is what the character is about. You don't want to throw Lara Croft as a character. See, that's kind of what they did, right? Because they didn't want to get away from the costume per se, but they wanted to de-emphasize her femininity. That's why they made her a B cup in the new one, right? She went from a triple D to a B cup over the years, and I don't know, man. I'm a fan of boobs. I'll just say it. I'm a fan of boobs. I like my wife having boobs. I'm not going to talk anybody else's boobs, but I'm a fan, right? Someone's got to defend the boobs. Someone has to stand up and say, God gave women boobs. God wants women to have boobs. Obviously. So, and you know what? A lot of women out there, they have big boobs. And that's fine. God made them that way. God bless them all. And I think it's anti-feminine to mastectomize a video game character for your political agenda. Sorry, that's how I feel. Actually, not sorry. Don't care how you feel. Boobs don't care about your feelings. So here I am once again doing the tint, tone, hue. This is how I color things, giving them shape. Obviously, I talk about this in all my videos. This is how I do my coloring. It's very simple, 3-tone. You can all learn to do this yourself if you're so inclined. But I do a base layer of a simple hue. Here I did it in gray because I just wanted to carve out the light sourcing first before I do the color separation. Not the color separations, before I do the flatting for the different colors and whatnot. So here I do a drop shadow. All right, I drop a total shadow, which is the tone layer, and then I carve away where the light would go. I did a front facing light source this time. Usually I do like a 3/4 angle, but I did basically a front facing angle this time on the light source. And so as the light drops down, that's where I want to excise the shadows. And then after I'm done with that, I go back in and I re-drop the shadows to give the sense of layering of what's on top of what and what has multiple, what has 3 dimensions. And then I go in and I select out all those shadow areas and I delete those out of the highlight layer. And then once again, I go back in with the highlight layer and I carve out a 3rd layer so that I have a tint. The highlight layer is a tint. The color is the base hue. So you have that would be the mid-tone. So the high tone is the tint, the mid-tone is the hue, and then the tone layer is the shadow. And it gives me 3 vectors of shading to go with where I can give form and shape to everything. And when you have a nice, shapely, lovely woman like Lara Croft, then you want to stick to that. Oh, back to the face. So I didn't really get to talk to this because I was on my soapbox too much, but so what I was trying to do is take the original Lara Croft face from Tomb Raider, the early Tomb Raiders, right? Where she had that big thing and her eyes practically went off the screen, or her eyes practically went off the model. She had those big luscious lips and all that stuff. And, it doesn't look like realistically attractive in that because it's so cartoony, but I tried to maintain that sort of look in the character that I've designed here, so that I really was trying to go for not like so much redesigning the modern Lara Croft as I was trying to reimagine the original Lara Croft, but brought into sort of, it's been 28 years since the first Tomb Raider came out. What was that, 1996, 97? Something like that. Wow, it's been a long time. And so I was trying to take this 90s era, low poly, simplified character and bring her into the modern, but not with modern sensibilities for modern audiences. Just more modern in the sense of, man, we do some crazy, crazy high poly stuff now. You're not limited by low poly. You're not limited by low texture. You have 0 limitations when you're designing characters now. And so I wanted to give her something that maintains the original concept, sex appeal, the very idiom and idea and of Lara Croft, of Tomb Raider, and just bring it into a 2024 technological upgrade with a little bit more sense. I know you might want to see her thighs and stuff, but hey, you're gonna get ate up by mosquitoes if you're out there in the jungle. I gave her steel-toed boots and steel shin guards. I gave her the pads that would allow her to get, like knocked about if you're climbing rocks, and I mean that's what you're doing, right? You're Lara Croft. You're climbing rocks, jumping off of stuff, doing tuck rolls, blah blah blah, all this stuff. You're gonna need a little bit of padding so you're not breaking your elbows and your knees and whatnot. And if you're kicking things with those steel-toed boots, on point. And you can do all this while still maintaining a nice, visually appealing, sexy lady, adventurer. I'm even going to go in here after I'm done and do a few color variations. I tried to stay with the original color variation for my initial take, but here's a handful of variations on a theme. Before we jump into that, allow me 30 seconds to introduce myself. My name is Mike S. Miller, 32-year professional comic book creator, video game concept artist, writer, blah, blah, blah. I'm the creator of multiple intellectual properties, including Imaginaries, Deal with the Devil, Six Gun Samurai, and Lone Star. Available to pre-order at lonestarcomic.com, link in the description below. Our vision here at Blacklist Universe is ultimately to create a multimedia venture to bring quality and ethics back to storytelling. We're tired of the DEI woke agenda ruining every book, comic, game, movie, and TV show, and we're bound and determined to do something about it. If that sounds good to you, then join us by subscribing and maybe even supporting us as a channel member. No one can fight the culture war alone. We're here to fight and to make a difference, and we hope you are too. And one more thing, I do a weekly live stream at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time called Drawn and Quartered, where me and a group of my other professional artist friends get together and draw and chat. and have a good time, and we would love for you to join us. Now back to the video. Look, maybe she's going night diving, or she's going out in the cold. Well, actually, if she went out in the cold, I'd probably put her in a fur coat or something like that. But, you know, variations on a theme. So anyways, sorry about so much soapboxing today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and enjoyed my rendition of Lara Croft without all of the woke bullcrap that they're trying to use to destroy her in this modern day and age. Anyways, I'm Mike. Hope you enjoyed the show. Like, subscribe, share if you haven't already. If you want more of these videos, then let me know what you want in the comments section below. And I will see you all on the next video.